One of the things that we at the call center are required to do, we have really two legal requirements. Number one is to be handling the misutility calls, and there are a whole series of standards that we have to meet. Rick talked about some of those in the statistics that he showed you. Another one of the components that we have is to be running a public awareness program. And as you see, our last quarter, September through November, has been pretty busy, and we hope pretty effective too, with 1,614 individuals that we were involved in some sort of training effort during that time. We were able to distribute nearly 20,000 handout items to those folks and folks of the general public. And then no-show calls is something we report on every quarter too. The help desk group who Rick was referencing, as well as Kathy Waldron, will once a quarter review a list of organizations that have higher no-show rates and try to work with them to see what we can do to eliminate that. No-show is technically a violation of the law, so we take it upon ourselves to try to work with the membership to reduce those no-show situations, to essentially not just help keep them out of trouble, but also to help make the process work properly for the excavators. If excavators go to the job site, somebody hasn't marked, they may call in a 3-hour notice like they're supposed to, but they may get frustrated and go ahead and dig, damage a utility, injure themselves. We don't want any of that stuff to happen. So we take this proactive step to get in touch with those folks with the higher no-show rates, to work with them on making sure they understand their responsibility, as well as how to use our positive response system. And you see another 100% effort by that group in working on the no-shows. Now we're actually coming up, the beginning of the year, February, March, April is always a busy time for us with home shows. There are 6 that we do in different parts of the state, including the Capitol Home and Garden Show in Chantilly at the Dulles Expo Center. We do that on an annual basis. Those shows are very large with big turnout, and yet you see that in spite of that being a busy time for us, you see 8 different events here that we participated in during the past quarter, where we had the opportunity to talk with folks and share damage prevention information with them. Interestingly, of this list, 4 of the items on the list are ones that we've participated in previously. The NOVEC annual membership meeting we've done for several years in a row now. The Town of Purcell Rodeo is something we've done for probably 4 or 5 years. The GE Safety Day we've done for about 7 years, and then packaged in there as well, the VOSH conference. This, I believe, was our 7th year doing that. So kind of a nice mix of standard events that we have done on a regular basis, but some new events too. And that's always fun for us because it gives us a greater opportunity to expand the outreach, get involved with more and more folks. One thing that I will point out, the home shows that we do at the beginning of the years, there's a fee that we pay to be there as a vendor to be able to display. On this list, there's only one item that we had to pay to be there. That was the VOSH conference. All of the others, there's no display fee whatsoever. And you're talking several thousand people that we had the chance to have interaction with when you combine all these events. So we always look forward to having those opportunities. A few photos to share of some of these events. This is Blair set up at his station at the NOVEC membership meeting. This is from the VDOT Safety Day that took place in their Richmond office in early October. And then Dominion Virginia Power had a Safety Day event at their office in Chester. This was in October as well. And you can see Dominion's table in the foreground, and in the background our table too. Tracy took this photo. Amazingly, Tracy has a good habit of taking photos and somehow never appearing in any of hers. Although I guess it is a challenge to take a photo and be in it at the same time, but we miss that. As you can tell from the numbers that I showed you earlier, there were a lot of different training events that we're involved with. This is just a partial list of some of the member utilities that we've worked with during the past 3 months. And this could be on working on positive response. It could be visiting us. There are a couple folks on here who are new members to the misutility process, so meeting with them, helping get them set up. It could be working directly with, helping them with better understanding how to utilize the online mapping for where the utilities receive tickets. In some cases, it's working with someone on a custom ticket query to help them better look at the data, but also try to figure out things that they can do with some of their public awareness efforts. Web ticket entry is one of the things that is a standard as well. Once a month, we have training offered in each of the 4 regions, Roanoke, Northern Virginia, Central Virginia, and in Hampton Roads. But in addition, there will be some occasions from time to time where someone requests they have a larger group that they want us to come and train, or if there's someone that our web ticket audit process has identified who's having some issues with a web ticket entry, we'll go back and do some remedial training with them. So you see a combination of all of those sorts of things reflected here. All of the public awareness staff, with the exception of Jennifer, who will be joining us in a little bit. Jennifer is our new person. She's not been through the train the trainer process. A number of you all here have done that, and you know the quality and the depth of the presentation that the SCC has put together on the Dig with Care process and going through the Damage Prevention Act. You see that we have a request to do that training on a regular basis. 3 of those sessions took place during the past quarter. But in addition to that, the SCC gets us involved and asks for our help often with doing some of the settlement training for them. Because of the way they're staffed, they don't have the flexibility to get out and do the settlement training as much as they'd like to. So they often get our help in doing that. You see 3 sessions there, and Blair and I are already working on contacts for 2 sessions that'll probably take place in early January. So we continue to support the SCC in those efforts. A whole bunch of other things have gone on, and I'm not going to sit here and bore you by reading all this list, but you see that there's a lot of different things that go on with what we do with public awareness. We have to wear a lot of different hats and make sure we know a little bit about a whole lot of things, and you see that reflected in the breadth of the different sorts of training events that we were involved with here. Each October, a number of you all who are cross-country pipeline providers will utilize an out-of-state resource to come in and do pipeline safety training for the folks in your areas. And you see that this list shows the pipeline safety events that we participated in throughout the month of October and in early November. And if my memory is right, there are 18 different events that are there spread out all across the state. We like being present at these because most of the time this presentation is done in a more generic national level perspective. Our being present gives us the opportunity to give a Virginia unique perspective and to talk about Virginia's care message and some of the things that we're involved with at our call center too. This is a photo from the Richmond event. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I believe there's at least 70 folks here. There was a variety of attendance anywhere. We had probably half of these events were in the 50 to 80 range as far as attendance goes. There were, if my memory is right, over 600 folks total who participated in these events, the ones that we attended, giving us the opportunity to share some Virginia-specific damage prevention information. We make a point of attending the advisory committee meetings. We do that because, as you can see, the way we run around and travel, we want to keep up with what's going on a statewide level in the arena of damage prevention so that we can help spread the word to the folks at those training events and some of the other meetings we attend. A prime example, hopefully you all are aware of the fact that on October 1st, the SCC put into effect some new rules of enforcement of the Damage Prevention Act. If you don't know what I'm talking about, after the meeting, when you get back to your office, visit our website, va811.com, and on our news section, there's a link there that talks a little bit about the new rules of enforcement, and then you can click on a separate link that then will allow you to see the order from the Commission and see what those new rules of enforcement are. Our being at the advisory committee meetings, knowing what the status of those rules are, when they went into effect, some of the things that transpire from that, or some of the other points of emphasis that the SCC and the advisory committee are looking at, we're able then to take that information back to the local damage prevention committee meetings or to those training events to try to help get the word out into the stakeholder community to make sure that folks are doing things the right way. A number of associations. These are all excavator associations with the exception of NOVEC, although the NOVEC is the National Association of Women in Construction, so they're involved indirectly in the excavation community. We pride ourselves in our active participation with the excavator community. And then another thing that we're very proud of, we're very strong supporters of the local damage prevention committees and encourage you, if you're not active in one of those, to get involved with those. There are 8 that take place across the state. We have a damage prevention committee page on our website that you can go to. You can see how the state breaks down into those 8 different regions, and you see from this list these meetings take place all the time. The Northern Virginia group meets once a month. Most of the other groups meet once a quarter, but the events page on our website will make sure that you know when the next meeting is taking place. In addition, you'll notice the 2 points at the bottom, the 2 items. This group that we call ourselves the Damage Prevention Committee Summit Group. This is a group of the Damage Prevention Committee chair people. We help facilitate meetings with them. Those occur once a quarter, and we've hosted most of those at the call center in Roanoke. It gives the chair people a chance to get together to talk about those trends that are going on the statewide level, also talk about what's going on locally at their Damage Prevention Committee meetings, as well look at how we as a group can develop some strategies to help improve damage prevention. In some cases, some of the ideas we've talked about will produce, we hope, some good public awareness efforts. So definitely, again, want to make sure that if you're not going to a local damage prevention committee meeting, that you think about doing so. Not only is it a great opportunity to stay informed on what's going on, but a great networking opportunity to make connections with folks who can help you solve problems on a local level. This is a photo of Jennifer. Since she's not here, or at least we figured we'd flash her on the screen, and while this is going without my help, I don't know why, but Jennifer is giving a presentation here at the Eastern Virginia meeting in September. And this is from the October Central Virginia Damage Prevention Committee meeting. You see Al Jemison giving an update at that meeting. The newest edition of our newsletter, the VUPS Dirt, is out on our website right now. So that's something else you can do when you get back to the office. Go to va811.com, check out the news section, and you'll have the opportunity to read our newsletter. A few of the articles there, our Election Day project that we talked about, more information about the Employee of the Quarter, our Christmas display, which you'll find out more about that in a few moments, and a special industry focus. So I encourage you to take a peek at that. And then lastly, just a reminder to always take a peek at the events page of our website, because we try to keep that up to date with the upcoming events. There is a Damage Prevention Committee meeting on Friday. The Central Virginia group will be meeting in Chester. The Advisory Committee meetings are done for the year, and they will not meet again until February. But we keep all that information up to date, so I encourage you to visit our website and check us out on Facebook and Twitter. If you're not into those things or don't know how to find our page, if you just go to va811.com, in the upper right-hand corner, there are 3 little buttons or widgets. There's one there for our YouTube page, one for our Facebook page, and one for our Twitter page. You do not have to be someone who uses Facebook or Twitter to be able to access our pages and check out the content there. So I encourage you to take a peek at those.